Welcome back to the GOAT District. This is Theo Greminger at the OG Fantasy here with Andrew Schellenberg. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm back. I took June off, but I'm looking like G-Dub out on the boat. I got my long sleeve Columbia on just for G-Dub. We're gonna catch some fish, but Theo, I'm ready to go.
All right, well, let's rock.
GOAT District, you know the Pope listens. Dynasty, our religion, for the blokes missing. On all of these trades, on all of these plays, on all of these grades. By the end of the day, y'all getting played. So, what you gonna do next? Try to fill up that flex? Send the homie a text? That trash offers the best? You try to make it complex, then they text you back. Now all of a sudden they don't make any sense. Broaden your horizons, boy. Dynasty's not for the Simons, boy. These trades not for consignment, boy. Respect your opponent, y'all some piranhas, boy. This my advice, from me to you. Open up your cute little podcast queue. Search up GOAT District, my dude. Pop it in your ear, man, y'all know what to do. It's a... And I always be traded. And I always be traded. And I always be trading. Y'all try to betray them, but first you gotta bait them. Fish.
So we're here. Dan and JD are enjoying the streets of Europe, but we're here in the high-stakes streets. Half milli Billies tonight.
Let's do it.
Guys, we're a minute and a half away from our draft starting. We're in the 8th hole, Andrew. Have you been drafting in like the 7, 8, 9 often? Because I feel like I've gotten it a few times. It's interesting.
I feel like I've only been in like the first 3 or the last 3. I feel like I've lived to the 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12 this year. So this is a little bit of new territory for me, Theo. So you'll have to guide me through it a little bit here. So
I was like running pure and getting all these 101s in best ball season. And then I've been kind of all over the place. I have a 109 recently. I've been, kind of all around this middle. I don't hate it, though. I think it opens us up to some values in the second round and the third round. We're going to see how this one goes. There's a lot of badged players in this draft.
Agreed. Yeah, I think I'm interested to see what happens in round 3, because I think at this 308, we're either going to be really lucky with a player who falls, or we're going to be, dried up with some of the value. But I think that being in the early 4th is a good spot to be. So I'm mainly looking forward to seeing how we play that third round, or what falls to us.
I am going to turn my audio off, and you can keep it on for the draft room. Okay, we're live here. I've been seeing CMC and Taylor pretty even lately. We're doing the FFWC video showdown that Billy Muzio put together. Me and you were representing the GOAT District, and we saw McCaffrey go off the board 101 there. We took Jonathan Taylor at the 102. This draft, Christian McCaffrey goes 101 again. So we're going to see Jonathan Taylor here at the 2. 3 has usually been Cooper Kupp, but I've seen some other players rising up to 3 recently as well. There's Kupp.
Yeah, we got Kupp anyways.
So it's pretty chalky to start out.
Yeah, and I think the Baker news kind of pushed CMC up, as you were alluding to the 101 now. But I think as long as you're evenly split on those two, I think it's not crazy if you're getting the 101.
So there goes Jamar Chase. We had him in our queue.
And Eckler too. Some of our backup plans, Theo.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. Do you think it's our fault? Should we not have advertised?
Yeah, I think they're going for all your favorites. Dalvin Cook goes at the 107. Okay, so we're OTC here.
I think we go wide receiver is my preference. So but let's talk it out.
So we have right now 45 seconds. I'm going to throw out Diggs, and I'm going to throw out Kelsey, even though we don't really want to take him per se. I think he's a structurally kind of a fun value here. So if you want to go wide receiver, I'm open to Diggs. If not, I would like to go Kelsey There's a couple of interesting running backs, but I think we start with a wide receiver or a tight end in this.
Yeah, I agree. I like the build if we start with Diggs. Opens us up to some interesting possibilities. So let's go Diggs, and we'll move on and figure out who we get.
Okay, so we're taking Diggs, we're pushing him up. I know, like in a lot of these drafts, you'll see like the person at the turn go wide receiver. I've seen that quite often. So you really see like CeeDee Lamb won't be available to us
Right.
on the wraparound. So it's very funny this year. We were talking about this in the pre-show. Wide receivers been like so pushed up that I think that adding Diggs, it really gives us like we're not going to have to try to make up for wide receiver position where it starts running off in like the second, third, fourth, and fifth round. Because a lot of times, like where we're picking in the sixth round, we're not going to necessarily love the wide receivers there. And I feel like you're not forced to take one now that you have Diggs here. What do you think of Kelsey, though? Are you just not avoiding him, or you prefer the maybe more upside running backs and these wide receivers?
Yeah, I have. Gosh, I'm going to say that. And I think I've taken a couple of Kelsey's when they're like in the 10, 11, 12 range. But yeah, you're totally right. I think I'd rather the upside running backs, the upside wide receivers. And I just think I like more or different tight ends later in that second, third round range, or even just completely punting it and waiting for 10, 11, 12 rounds to come around. I have not found myself drafting so much Kelsey.
Yeah, no, he's a player I've drafted a few times, but I'm never like reaching for him. Where like last year, I would love to potentially start with a Kelsey build.
Yeah, we would have killed to have Kelsey at 108 last year.
We definitely we would have been like breaking down, like making it rain if that would have happened.
Absolutely.
Last year.
We probably would have boned up the rest of the draft. We would have been drinking so heavily, spending our winnings already.
Absolutely. So Mark Andrews and Kelsey both go. So we're gonna have like an interesting pick here because a couple players are going to get pushed to us. I'm interested to see what the turn does. So the turn goes Derrick Henry.
I'm just so off the big dog. I think I said this on whenever the last time I was here, sometime in May, is just like I'm going to fade him, and I may be wrong, I may be right, but I'm just not taking him. I don't feel comfortable.
I mean, he's certainly got a lot of tread on the tires. I wouldn't say never. But he's certainly not a player I'm targeting. I've actually drafted a lot of Hassan Haskins, just betting on him breaking down. But I mean, the guy, we bet on him. People were drafting Darrington Evans last year, and Henry came out like just smoking hot out the gate, absolute production. So I don't know. He's a guy that I don't think you want to completely have none of, but it's hard for me to press draft as well, for better or for worse. Okay, so Joe Mixon goes. We had him queued up. Spearman Rhinos has a nice start.
Yeah, we're gonna have some really. I think we're gonna have an interesting debate here in 2 picks. We're up in 2. I like our queue. We got 4 people in the queue. It's a good looking queue right now.
I like our queue a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
You are up next.
All right. So Swift goes. I was pinging the. I love. And Lamb went.
Okay.
I got those would have been top 2 on my board, obviously. So it's obvious that they went before us. So.
Okay, so for me, it's either Saquon Barkley or Kyle Pitts. Those are the 2 that stand out to me the most here. I'd like Pitts to last a little later. I'd prefer him at the end of the second.
Yeah. I have a ton of Pitts, so I'm okay. My inclination would be to go Pitts. But if you're out on that and you'd rather go Barkley, you can get me there. I don't think there's anybody else on the board that I'm interested in here, though.
Yeah, I think
15 seconds, though.
15 seconds left.
You know what? I think that we should go Barkley here.
Okay.
I think it opens up to we can recover at tight end. I don't think we'll get a running back we want like Barkley.
All right.
Okay, so we've taken Barkley and Diggs. We have a nice balanced start. Yeah, it's really tough for Kyle Pitts to leave him there and not take him.
Totally agree.
It's really tough. But at the end of the day, we do like some of the later tight ends, some of the middle class tight ends, if you want to call them that. So like we're kind of open to different strategies. This I'll be interested to see where Pitts goes off the board here. But
yeah, and I think THEO, I mean, for me at least, and again, we'll talk a little bit of strategy here. I think that this means for me, like I'm waiting on tight end, like all through the single digit rounds. I mean, maybe there's like one or two, and we can get to them if there's like value that falls. But otherwise, like I think that like once you get through this like Pitts for me, I'm kind of out on these the rounds like what 4 through 8 tight ends. I don't know how you feel.
I'm not,
and again, put it in your never say never bucket, if you will.
Yeah, I'm not completely out. I've taken one of those guys actually in a slow main event.
Yeah.
Where the value kind of fell to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think that the problem with these when the tight ends get pushed up is I think you see a few of those guys start going in the 4th round, and then it kind of messes everything up. And I'm not talking about like tight end 4 and 5. I'm talking about like tight end 6 and 7 get pushed up. If I don't like to say names before somebody takes
it. I know. Yeah. No table talk. You're doing good at the no table talk deal. We're doing great.
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
Yeah. I just like so we got on the clock too quick, but I was pinging you in the chat. I don't even know if you saw, but I was like, don't say Swift. And I love that you threw out that we were debating Diggs versus Kelsey. I was hoping that you threw out Kelsey because you were hoping not to say Swift when he came back.
I mean, I've drafted Swift a lot this year. Yeah. I actually have a Diggs Swift team.
Yeah,
I took Swift at the 9, and I got Diggs in the 2nd round. So I already have a Diggs Swift team. So we'll take a Diggs Barkley team.
That's right. Diggs Swift for lots of money too, right? Wasn't that the main event, or was that the football guys?
No, that was a football guys.
Oh, okay, all right.
My main event start though, I have Jamar Chase and DeAndre Swift.
That's right. That's right.
A nice little start there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, there's some dynasty players would literally sell like maybe their arm to have those two on their dynasty teams, and I'll take them on my redraft team though. So Javonte goes. I kind of like that start, the Justin Jefferson Javonte.
Agreed.
I like what he did.
THEO, I can't wait. I mean, the plug, it's really your plug, but we got Ben Gretsch on tomorrow. But you know this because I'm sitting the draft board, but I got to send it to Ben too in advance of the pod. But talking about dynasty, I think you've seen the board. I think I've taken 7 running backs. One of them is a 2nd-year player, and then 6 of them are all rookies. So I've made an absolute mess of that main event team. But we can get into that as we get into the later rounds here. But it looks way more like a dynasty start than it does a $1 million main event winner. So we'll see how that one turns out.
Well, you're an ageist for the running back position, which is the position you kind of want to be an ageist at.
Totally.
So we see a Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel start. Where have you been seeing Deebo go lately? And we see ETN go a little bit higher. You see a second round.
At the end of that 2nd round.
Yeah.
He's still, I don't know. There's just guys that I think I'm taking over Deebo at the end of that 2nd round. Again, table talk, we'll figure it out in a second. We got to find the right balance between table talk and actually giving good analysis. But I like other wide receivers at the end of that 2nd round. Like that start from 1, THEO, CMC and Pitts.
I'm waiting to see who one takes. Who did he?
I have one yellow sticker that I'd slap up there right away if I ever got that start.
I'm watching the live feed here. I don't want to keep switching to the draft room, but
I love it. No, one did Pitts and Hill, and I think I would have gone Pitts and somebody else.
I mean, you could say it openly because they're not going to fall all the way to us.
Well, sure, Higgins.
Yeah, that's. I think.
And I think I'm taking Higgins over Deebo Samuel too. To be honest with you, that's where I was going at that end of the 2nd round.
I will say, and we see Higgins like as a very common person at the 2-3 turn.
Yeah,
like I've seen him, repeatedly at the 2-3 turn. So that would be like the one argument against necessarily taking Higgins. All right, so I'm going to queue up a couple of guys.
And shit, maybe the team 3 gets them both. Who knows? Maybe they played it perfectly.
So I am queuing a few.
I will too, just to cause chaos in the queue for you to manage.
Do it.
Like that 0 RB start from Team 3, Cup, Debo, Pittman.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely like having Pittman as your wide receiver 3 is
certainly feels good.
Yeah, it's awesome, and he's got such a high floor this year. Okay, so there goes AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I've seen him fall a little bit lately. I was hoping he'd fall to us.
No, Team 7 setting up for some real heartbreak for us, Theo. I can already tell.
I think you're right.
Just absolute fucking heartbreak city left and right on that one.
You are up next.
No, good. It was Team 5 who did it.
So I took Waller.
Yeah, that's right.
At the 310 in my main event. I don't. So, like, to me, a healthy Waller is more appealing than a couple of the tight ends who go right behind him.
Yeah.
So I can understand him going in the late third. You saw him going way higher in like the early drafts, obviously before they got Devontae Adams, but it could be like a pie gets larger type argument, and a bunch of Raiders eat this year. I think that offense could take a real step forward, and the division is set for some shootouts. So I kind of like Waller.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I would have taken him there, but like when he falls to the late third, I've kind of moved around on him.
Yeah. Theo, I'm so excited for our next pick and how we're going to give any semblance of analysis, because we're going to hope that some of our guys are going to get pushed around that turn, Theo. I think for our live drafts, I like it way better where at the ends. Much better to double tap here.
Okay.
So where's your head at?
So my head is at, I think I prefer a wide receiver here, because I think that there's going to be a wide receiver run that might really dry up the next few picks, especially
10 and 11 have no wide receivers, so that's probably good.
Yeah, so I think we're kind of – so to me, right here, I lean DJ Moore. I've seen him start to get pushed up boards a little bit. I think he's got an improvement with Baker Mayfield there. I know you like him, and I think some of the other names in our queue have a better chance of getting us up.
I agree.
DJ Moore has 0% chance of getting us to the 405. So I say we take DJ Moore.
Yeah, I smashed him because he was at the bottom of the queue, so I didn't want to get timed out.
Yeah,
I mean,
DJ Moore. I don't want to overdraft him, but I've been drafting the hell out of him.
I think he's perfectly fine there. But you're totally right. I don't think we get him. I don't think we push him around that turn at all.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 28% target share last year, and he was 4th in the league in air yards. And I made this comment the other night. I was on Billy Muzio's awesome pod, Grind Time, and we drafted an FFWC draft. And I said, like, what if DJ Moore is just that dude in Carolina this year? McCaffrey is McCaffrey, but what if it's a little bit closer in terms of like who the man is in that offense?
Yeah.
And DJ Moore keeps all of his, all of his statistics last year in terms of usage, and he actually scores, 8 touchdowns instead of his usual 4.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have a smash season. So,
oh yeah.
I'm going to add a few more guys to the queue. So Nick Chubb. I
want to. You can talk about him now, but we might get back on the clock.
We got to end the podcast because what's going on with Schultz? The Schultz love is just.
I want to talk about Chubb and Schultz once we push around this corner, Theo. I'm pumped to talk about it. I've got a concept I want to lay on you. What related to Chubb here?
All right, I'm going to put a few more guys in the queue.
I can't tell if I want to be overly giddy at what's left in our queue or absolutely devastated. So remains to be seen here.
So we have a very tight end centric draft going in this room, which is fine.
And it may lead to exactly what you suggested, Theo, right? Like, hey, the top 6 go, and then maybe some of the other 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever get pushed up into rounds that we're not going to take them.
Yeah.
Or we just end up in a situation where we're just looking at 2, 3 double-digit tight ends, which is not a bad spot to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm reading this board correctly, I think you're going to see TJ Hawkinson go higher than he should, because people are going to be afraid of covering up with position. I don't think that's the way you play it when the tight end position gets pushed up, even in these tight end premium drafts. I could be wrong, but that's just my take. And I think, I don't know, Schultz before Kittle is interesting to me too. It's like
in Spearmint Rhinos, forgive me if I don't even know if he's watching. Maybe that's
No, he's
concede on mine, but we know him. We know
Yeah.
him. He's
Big time.
legit drafter.
Yeah,
I don't like what he's doing here, but legit drafter.
He also could be going for a unique build.
Yeah.
You're up next.
Oh, do you know what is for haters and losers, Theo? We weren't going to go
Yeah.
Josh Allen, but do you know what's for haters and losers?
Now you are on the clock.
Stack blocking.
Stack blocking is awful.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay, so we can talk it out because none of these guys will be. Okay, so right now in our queue, we have Breece Hall, Deontay Johnson, and Mike Williams. I am okay taking Breece Hall here and having our RB2. I'm open to Mike Williams, though, because I think he could be a touchdown hammer right now. Deontay Johnson has a good floor, but in terms of ceiling, like, if this team gets to the promised land and we have a 3-week run, Mike Williams could have 6 touchdowns in 3 weeks.
So make the call. I'm good either way between Breece and Mike Williams.
I'm going to take Mike Williams.
Yeah, do it. Okay, nice.
Okay, I don't necessarily love it, but I'm open to the fact that he could absolutely smash this season.
No, do you know what sucked, Theo, is seeing Jalen Waddle get picked right before us.
I mean, I love
Waddle.
Waddle.
It was a gut punch.
I've drafted the hell out of Waddle. We draft Waddle together. We have Waddle on high stakes dynasty teams.
Yeah.
We have enough Waddle exposure.
So,
but
Theo, can I talk to you about Nick Chubb, who I like a lot? I can't believe I saw him at 312. You've been sending me your draft board for forever, and it took till today where I realized that Nick Chubb went 312 in the draft. Like I said, I took June off, so I'm trying to wake up from my month-long coma. Here's my question for you. Let me get to the point, Theo. Is the 12 spot this year going to be total fool's gold with drafters thinking, oh my God, use this draft as an example, maybe Nick Chubb and Zeke Elliott falling to me at the 3-4 turn, where they're just smashing running backs that they think are going to be these workhorses, and they just absolutely hammered because the running backs are fool's gold here?
Well,
what's your sense there? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, I in my main event, a team started out wide receiver, and I've seen that happen where the 12 hole goes wide receiver, and these slightly older running backs that look like they're going to command a ton of volume are there for you in the 3rd round, and also you're also faced with, if you don't go running back at that 3-4 turn, what's going to be left to you when you pick again. So I think that it's a very tough call. That's why I have liked my teams at the turn a little bit better, where I start running back wide receiver like this person did.
Anyways, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The initial construction's good. I just don't think I'm taking Zeke there or Kittle. Like Henry, Adams, Elliott, Kittle, you could convince me that whole team turns to dust by week 7.
Yeah,
I like them all. I like Adams. I'm not rooting for that, but it's that's an older team with some potential fool's gold there.
So we see a true 0 RB, potentially true 0 RB start with the 4 wide receivers for team 3. I don't hate it at all. You also see Deontay Johnson falling in this board. He goes behind Jerry Jeudy, behind Allen Robinson, behind F1. I think people are not so excited about Deontay. I've drafted some Deontay this year. I think, the argument that targets are earned is still there for me. He certainly starts looking like a value where he goes in the late 4th, in my opinion. But I can see people worried about the offense changing, the quarterback specifically changing. Deontay ate a lot on those low A routes, but he can run a lot of different pretty complex route trees. So I think people might be sleeping a little bit on Deontay, but whatever. He's not going to be on our team tonight. And we were very wise to go wide receiver.
I was just going to say that was a really good structural board read by you, Theo, on the Mike Williams.
Yeah, Breece Hall would have been fun, but now it's
what's that math, Theo? 10 of the last 11 picks have been wide receivers.
10 out of last 11. You're right.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy. So I think I'm going to start. I'm going to look at our queue. I'm going to queue some guys up.
I threw a few in there. I know you did too.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a few more.
One of those guys, I think I'm off on for ADP.
Yeah,
I'll have to take a look. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, way off.
I threw a couple guys in there though.
Are they gonna make me puke?
Yeah, you'll probably puke, but
Yeah,
they're worth looking at here. So David Montgomery goes to the team. He jumps off of the zero build, adds his first running back, adds David Montgomery. You know,
do you think you go wide receiver one more time, or do you think you go quarterback there, or is it just way too early to go for another quarterback, especially when there's no real obvious stack with it the four that he had?
I think if I built that team, I'm looking for Matt Stafford or Russ Wilson and some correlation. I'm not so sure how a Trey Lance correlation with Debo would go, but I think if it all goes right, Trey Lance could score a lot of fantasy points this year. So I think he's got better. He's got some correlation options. I don't know. Taking a fifth wide receiver there in a row, it's not the worst idea because you would have had a chance at a DK Metcalf.
No, I think I would have gone DK there.
Yeah.
Oh, Theo, I hate the fifth round. I'm out on the fifth round.
Fifth round is definitely tough. It's definitely a tough.
I threw some names in there that I didn't think that were going to be that controversial, like AJ Dillon. He's gone.
Yeah, AJ Dillon's been flying up.
Whoa.
AJ Dillon certainly has been flying up. Okay, so we're in the hole
you're
here.
going to have to do some work to convince me on some of these, Theo.
Well, I mean, I think it's okay. Let's see who he takes. Number 7, Team 7 should be thinking. Not sure which way he goes here.
I mean, I think that just to talk to, I think the fourth on the queue is probably the move that I would make here.
Yeah, it's probably the move we're going to make. Let's see which way Team 7 goes. Because that's probably the person he should.
Man, they're struggling with it too.
Yeah.
Down to 2 seconds.
Now you are on the clock.
Hold on.
Okay,
Hey,
so
don't go crazy here. I want to check the sticker. Did it get auto-picked? All right. No, okay, we're good. He got it.
We're OTC here.
Yeah, okay.
I think, to me, Darnell Mooney is the play because he had 140 targets last year. I'm worried a little bit about the offense in terms of like the pace, and they're going to be very run heavy, but he's a clear wide receiver 1. I think that there's some other wide receivers I think we really, really like, but we don't necessarily know,
Can I ask you a question? I just added somebody to the bottom of the queue. Would you rather go there to open up the board to us on the way back on round 6?
15
I see Mooney at the bottom of the queue.
Okay, all right. Then cancel what I said.
Let's take Mooney right now.
Okay. Yeah, because I think 11 and 12 are going to need wide receivers.
Okay,
right?
so we took Mooney.
That's we probably should have been more focused, not blocking them, but reading that 10, 11, 12, seeing that there's only 2 wide receivers between the 3 of those teams already. And J.K. Dobbins was the guy that I added to the board. So I don't know if you would have been interested in Dobbins, but I threw that out there as a potential dead zone pick.
So right now I'm off Dobbins. I think that Dobbins, like, if he falls to the late 6th, I think I'm interested in him. I'm hoping that he's really, really slow getting out the gate and there's some value, but like, I'm not optimistic about him being ready for camp, and they can keep saying the positive things they want, but I don't know. It makes me nervous seeing a guy coming off of injury that's not going to be out there for the start of camp, and I think that's what we're looking at with JK.
Yeah.
So
by the way, I hate what Team 12 has done here.
Team 11, I like Amon-Ra for their build. I think that was a good selection by them. I'm interested to see what they do. And Team 12, yeah, adding Jacobs there, I don't know. I think it's potential for disaster, this team.
Yeah.
A lot of landmines on that team. A lot of guys that certain people are not drafting. They could be wrong. This team could be really strong out the gate, but I think you've got a lot of older guys that might break down.
Yeah. I I added a few to the queue. One I'm not totally serious about because I think it's a little bit early for them, but is the
No,
right
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? The last one I added there. You see 3 players, right?
Yes, I see it.
Yeah. I actually think it might be the play, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not against it.
Yeah, let's see what we're up in 1. And actually, it's a very diverse group of players we have in the queue here.
Yeah.
All
right, let's see. All right, so one more.
Man, Ertz and Goddard in round 6, Theo.
Well, that's it's going to be that kind of a night.
It's the way the board. And by the way, that's a 3 tight end start for not in a row, but for team 11.
Now you are on the clock.
Okay, so Mahomes goes off the board.
This tells me we've got a good read on one of our guys here, Theo.
Yeah. I'll just say the names we have in the queue.
Yeah, please.
I've come around on Antonio Gibson in the 6th round.
Yep, fits our build,
and I think that it's not a bad pick. We have Elijah Moore, who we're huge fans of.
Yep.
And then we have Justin Herbert for the correlation with Mike Williams.
Who I think we should go here.
I think it's fine. We don't have any other Allen's gone. We're not going Baker. We're not not doing a Fields Mooney team. I think it's the best chance for correlation, and we're betting on a Mike Williams touchdown season. So I think we take Herbert here, and we go QB earlier than we usually do.
Are you good there?
Yeah, I took him.
Okay. I like that. I think that's the right move, Theo. I don't think we need another wide receiver. I'm not panicked about running back 2. I think Gibson was the right play if we're going to go running back there. But I think that Herbert was a good move. I like that. I like the correlation play.
Yeah, I don't have much Herbert. But I think that the chance for some correlation, basically for this team to smash in a overall standings level, we're going to need Mike Williams to take over from Keenan Allen.
He's going to have to be that dude.
Yeah. Mooney's a fun pick, but I don't like I talked about this being kind of like the money rounds for wide receivers, where you always see these guys that really smash ADP. You saw Stephon Diggs a couple years back. Last year we saw Debo. Last year we saw Jamar Chase, and they just absolutely smashed out of like that 6th, 7th round-ish. Mooney kind of falls into that range a lot. He's like somewhere between like wide receiver 24 and wide receiver 35. It's usually been one of those kind of guys in terms of like how much volume he's going to see and his target share. But I have so much question marks about that offense. I think that he's kind of a floor play, which is completely fine out of our second flex. But we really need Mike Williams to smash for this team. And you can make an argument that DJ Moore, even though, I'm betting on a step forward, there's a chance he's just the exact same guy and he has 1,150 yards again, like he has every single year, and he becomes a floor play. So, like, we need Diggs to smash, we need Williams to smash, and we need Saquon to smash is the kind of the way I'm reading
it. We need the whole team to smash. Theo, imagine if the whole fucking team smashed. We could spend $1 million now.
100%. But I don't think Mooney to me is not like the driver to the million. Yeah. He's the guy that helps you win the regular season. Right. I like him a lot. There's some people higher than him than I am. I have a ton of him in Dynasty. We have him on our Triflex team in Dynasty. And I've been drafting him a lot. I'm never super excited to do so. It just seems like the correct play at times.
Yeah. Do you know who has a really sexy team here, Theo? It was team 2. Taylor, Etienne, Kamara, and then followed by Deontay Johnson, Bateman, and Elijah Moore. If those second-year wide receivers smash like we expect them to or hope they do with the breakouts, that team could be really fun.
Yeah, I like Moore a lot where he got him there. I think you're seeing we recommend everybody subscribes to Fantasy Mojo. We're both subscribers. Darren Armani, who is Fantasy Mojo, is going to come on the GOAT District at the end of the month, talk about some of these ADP reactions and guys that are moving up. But if you are a Mojo subscriber, check out the main event ADP versus the Football Guys ADP. And Elijah Moore is going higher in main events than he is in Football Guys. And some of it's structural because I think you're seeing wide receivers get pushed up a little more. but some of it's just he's a baller, and there's certain people like us that love Elijah Moore and just want to have him on as many teams as possible.
Yep.
All right, so Lamar Jackson goes to team 1. Team 1 has a nice start. I think I like what they did a lot from that one hole.
I like the colors. I'd switch out some of the players, but I don't think that you can really argue that players. I mean, I think what you're looking for is the structure there, which I like.
Yeah, it's very good structure, and I think he's smart to, go with the tight end and the wide receivers. You don't need to push RB2 for that McCaffrey build, especially when Javonte and Etienne both went before. So, okay, so Tony gets pushed up a little bit. I like him there. What do you think about Tony there? He lose a little value to you in the beginning of the 7th?
I think so, but it's kind of hard to knock it because he certainly wasn't coming back in round 8.
Yeah.
So I don't mind a round to a round and a half, quote unquote, reaches. I'm okay with that because especially the ADP is going to shift. Now maybe you're giving up some of the value, but if you're wanting to get your guys, you can almost guarantee that you're just not going to find that guy in the 8th.
So team 3 goes Montgomery, Sanders, and CEH after his 4 wide receiver start. I might have gone 2 running backs there, not 3 of them. But I can understand what he's doing.
Yeah. And by the way, Theo, I like her queue again. I like the options.
I like it as well.
Up in 3, we got 4 in the queue. Oh, up in 2, we got 3 in the queue.
the guy at the top of the queue is probably my favorite one that we have.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, I think he's a clear upside play for us if he's there. I think we take him. Okay, so I like Renfro a lot more than you do. We can talk about that after we pick.
Yeah, do you want to go to the guy top of the queue? Because I think that's an easy one for me. Unless you want to talk structure on the way back.
Yeah, I think right now we both really like Devonta Smith. I'd prefer him in the beginning of the 8th, but I think it's fine to take him here. And I don't want to miss out on him. I think we both like him. We love the talent, and I think it works for what we're doing. I think we take Devonta Smith. Yeah,
let's do it. Especially, I like the way you navigated that, Theo, because I think that there's a chance that maybe 1 or 2 of those guys in the queue comes back to us.
Yeah,
not much of a debate there for me.
Yeah, I like Devonta Smith. I think he's interesting. I think if AJ Brown, a mental exercise, if AJ Brown didn't go to Philly, where would Devonta Smith be getting drafted? I think he would go somewhere
probably around Bateman. Him and Bateman are probably a pair moving around the draft board.
I was going to say the 4-5 turn, with potential that people might like him even more because they'd be more bullish on the offense. Christian Kirk goes. People are starting to warm up on Christian Kirk. I know it's not your favorite pick. You don't like the Renfro or Kirk picks there. I can tell, Andrew.
No, you know what's funny is I like Renfro way more than I like the Kirk pick.
Yeah, I actually really like Renfro.
Yeah, lately, did we end up smashing Renfro in that best ball that you referred to earlier? I just sent you the chef emoji times 3.
This was an FFWC draft, so the structure is different than FFPC, but we basically had like a 3-hour debate in a slow draft about Hunter Renfro versus AJ Dillon in our particular structure, and we ended up going Renfro because of the position. But it was like a really tough one with Andrew. Andrew,
hold on. I was chefing. I was cooking with you.
When you have an opportunity to add Chef Renfro, you hit the draft button.
You do it.
But I think we would have taken Devonta Smith over him either way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Team 11 adds Jalen Hurts.
I like what they're doing with that Hurts and Ertz stack. No, I don't. Don't mind me. A couple beers deep here, Theo.
It's a good one. I'm looking at our come around.
I'm excited for Team 12. It's going to be great. Whatever they come up with, I'm going to love.
I'm going to throw one guy in the queue that I think
the queue is holding steady. I don't love the queue. Oh, I got to tell you, Theo, with the guy who was taken and the guy you added, I hate the queue. I moved from a don't love to a hate.
I like the guy I added. I think we can talk about it a little bit.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, let me see something. Okay, so Walker went. You're loving Walker in this range?
I was. I would have taken him there at the 80, whatever the hell we were, 805. I just didn't think he probably didn't. He probably wouldn't have lasted. By the way, I expected him to last, given some of the constructions here at the back half of the draft. But Team 12.
I think we should consider the person I have in the queue. I know you're angry about it, but at the end of the day, it's not the worst play.
It would be my least favorite pick of the draft by a large margin.
Yeah, and in retrospect, Kyler Murray's available. If we didn't take Herbert, we could have just, to go back and change a pick.
I don't know if I would have maybe added Gibson there.
Yeah,
Do a 2v2 Gibson and Kyler versus Herbert and the guy you're thinking.
Yeah.
You are on the clock.
Oh, I was hoping the guy would save me. It's too bad. Should have said his name out loud.
I'm kind of wide open here. We're pretty good at wide receiver. There's not a tight end we're interested in.
Agreed.
The move is either to take another wide receiver or to take one of these running backs. We don't pick again for a while. I think the move is probably taking a running back. I'm suggesting Chase Edmonds.
I know.
I think Chase Edmonds is the move here.
My only counter would be James Cook if you're into James Cook, but I don't think I'm going to be able to move you off of Chase Edmonds here.
I just don't hate Chase Edmonds here. I think that he's going to have a weekly floor. I think he's usable. I like James Cook, but I think like week one, it's hard to predict that.
15 seconds.
I think we go Chase Edmonds here.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to hate it. I hate it.
You don't like it.
No, do it, but I hate it. I want it on record. I hate it.
So there you go, Chase Edmonds. I'm sorry about that one. I think you've been really happy for a few rounds, and
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it was important to take me back down a little bit. It was flying too high.
Like I like Edmonds. I think that Edmonds is going to have. I think the bullish case is, he's the third most targeted Dolphin, and he sees work. The majority of the work at in terms of snaps at running back in that offense. It's a structural play, but I've kind of liked him in that 8th round. I've seen him go in the 7th often, so I'm not against Edmonds. It's certainly not exciting, but when you see who's coming back around to us in the 9th round, now it's kind of like we have our RB2. We're a little more open to other positions. I think we would have been kind of forced to take a running back in the 9th round if we didn't take Edmonds there.
Yeah, and I guess no, totally agree. I think structurally running back made sense, especially because it keeps, as you said, the wide receiver, tight end, or whoever in the 9th round open. I just think that if I'm thinking about that $1 million tournament, or I guess $500,000 tournament in this case, is Chase Edmonds going to be on the winning roster? And I can't imagine a scenario where that's true.
So I will say, I think there's something to be said for running back 2 is something that's a developing thing. And I think that Chase Edmonds can be a bridge running back for a build like ours.
Yeah.
Because you can add more upside guys, more handcuff types. Plus there's always going to be a waiver wire guy that we're not anticipating. So I think that it's still a very short season in the football guys where you've got to come out.
You can't come out of the gate slow.
You can't come out the gate slow. You don't feel great if you're not scoring a lot in week 1 and 2 and you're 0-2. And I think Chase Edmonds is kind of a bridge to it. So I know there's some running backs a little later that are more interesting, but I think like their week 1 floor is not nearly as safe as Chase Edmonds. So like, I don't know. I've come around to Edmonds. I think he's interesting. There goes James Cook. But he took James Cook as his RB4. It's a little easier to do than where we would have taken him.
Yeah.
I don't hate our build. I think that it's an interesting team what we put together, and I think it's there's some high upside guys.
No, some of our best main event team. Theo, I don't know about you, but I think we came away from it like disappointed in what we had slightly.
I don't think we were. I wasn't as disappointed. I think it was more like some of the players that we took on our best main event team that smashed were less exciting to take at the time.
Yeah.
You know, like Brandon Cooks, we took him and we were happy to take him, but I don't think we anticipated him being as good as he was out the gate.
That's right.
But yeah, that team I wasn't disappointed. That was Najee Harris we took with our first pick. So I think we were like pretty happy about Najee, but not like overly excited.
That's right. I think if I remember the disappointment, at least from my end, was we were so pumped to get another main event, and then we drew a dumb draft slot. Maybe it was like 8. Maybe it was like 8 or 9 or something like that. And it was just like, fuck, we couldn't have gotten one. Come on, one. Give us one time for the boys.
So I think that last year, not to get like, you know, we're talking about this year, but I think last year we were kind of unexcited about the end of the third round. Whereas this year, I think like the end of the third round is kind of interesting. So yeah, we were more into draft spots last year. Irv Smith goes, he's starting to go a little higher.
Yeah. And I love the Q. I think I put the Q in the like it bucket. I think that there's one guy that we should really consider at the top of the queue in terms of like how we're reading the board. I will say, and I know you listened to it too, and again, let's co-opt a little bit of material from somebody else. I like this concept from the Stealing Bananas guys of who's the last draftable wide receiver, and it's sort of coming up on that gross turn around this, what rounds like 11 and 12, really. So I know I probably want to get at least like 1 to 2 more wide receivers on the board before they all run dry, and I hate the options.
No, I like our queue right now. I think you've done a good job loading up that queue. I'm going to throw one more name in the queue just to get you angry.
Oh yeah, let me see it. Oh, hate. I love that I hate it so much.
I know you do, and
yeah, but I love to feel the hate through my body.
It's not the worst play here though at the 908. No, this is different because you've seen him go in the 7th round. So yeah, I like our queue though. I there's like 5 guys that we can talk out.
Or the guy at the top of the queue though, I can't tell if like we're just gonna.
I don't want to do it.
It feels gross, doesn't it? I don't want to be.
I'll talk. I think that it's a structure play. I don't think we can do that one. We can talk about it when we're OTC.
Yeah, or maybe maybe not. Maybe just don't say anything.
Next.
Yeah. Okay, so Rachaad White goes. I like that play.
I think structurally, we go wide receiver, Theo.
Okay, so there goes Penny. We talked about Penny in the queue just now, where Andrew was sickened by him, but I think this mid 9th for Penny is fine. Okay, so Dak goes. We're OTC here.
Do you like any of the wide receivers I have queued? Not really.
Yes, I mean I think that I'm going to throw one more guy in the queue. To me, I think that the pick here for me is Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
I believe in the talent type play, and I believe in the offense more than a couple guys in our queue.
And do we really think that there's 7 rounds of difference between Samuel and Ayuk?
Let's take Ayuk and we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's for me, I do think Debo deserves to go higher, but it's kind of like last year people were drafting Ayuk before Debo, and like you said, it might be an overcorrection. The coaching staff has had issues with Ayuk, but he kind of overcame that and came back and was playing all the time. So I think we're less concerned with like the Shanahan hates Ayuk narrative. I mean, he might. They drafted Danny Gray, but at the end of the day, if that team's going to be a dominant offense, Ayuk is going to be on the field. And based on our structure, it's, he's a bench guy. We can kind of, we're basically taking a roll in the dice.
We can monitor that one.
Yeah. So structurally, coming up, I don't think we need another wide receiver.
I agree. I added a couple more running backs at the bottom.
Yeah. Of the running backs in our queue, So this is a tough one. I'm going to add one more player to the queue.
Let me see it.
Which I know you won't like.
Oh no.
Okay,
No.
so we won't even consider him. Okay, so Tyler Lockett goes. Spearmint Rhinos takes Rojo, which would have been a running back I would have liked to have added.
And by the way, Spearmint's in the chat. I guess the FFPC draft chat saying, "Hey, send him the 250K now." And I just gotta say, no, he's not listening, but I don't like it. I don't like the team.
That's a tough one. I would have liked to have gotten Rojo in the 10th round.
Yeah.
Especially with this build. I think.
How bad of a spot are you in mentally right now, Theo?
It's not great. This is a tough time here.
I think that we need to go running back next. I really don't want to. I'd rather go another position there. But I can't tell with this board if we're still going to be running back crazy through round 11. And there are just so many guys in this 10, 11, 12 range on running back that I do like. And typically I could push it to the 11, 12 here where we are, Theo. But I'm just worried we're going to get shut out and you're going to lose your mind. I can't have that happening.
Yeah. I mean, I think structurally it's the right move. Garrett Wilson.
No, and you know what? I don't know if we can do one because of what we did earlier in the draft. We feel like Pot committed to a team.
Although that might be the correct move. I think that the player we should take is the one you don't want to take.
The one at the running back?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, if the winning roster has that guy and Chase Edmonds, you can have a quarter of my share, Theo. You just take 75% of the whole thing because I just be that dead wrong across the board.
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah.
So I think that okay, so we're coming up here.
And hey, 1912, come on, man. No, that's my least favorite suggestion of the night.
Okay, that's fine. But I think that there's only one clear option in the queue. Let's see. Can this guy please pick? Come on. Let's get this guy to pick so we can actually talk about the players in the queue in case he's listening.
15 seconds for him.
Trying to look at the running back, see if there's. Okay, so he takes MVS.
So what do we got in the queue, Theo? We got Cole Kmet, who I'm kind of suggesting, but I'm, the Mooney thing. We got Isaiah Spiller, Michael Carter, Melvin Gordon. You want Melvin Gordon?
I think leaning. I don't want to take Carter here. It's too early.
Yeah.
I would go Melvin Gordon or Isaiah Spiller.
Before Kmet.
I like Kmet a lot. But at the end of the day, is it going to be a tight end run with all the tight ends that have been selected?
Maybe 4 and 5 don't have them.
But I think we'll get another one.
Maybe, but do you want to be taking?
The problem is it's Mooney. It's Mooney and Kmet. You're making two bets on the Bears offense every week in the passing game.
All right, you got 10 seconds, Theo.
I think we take Spiller. Okay. Even though we have a lot of Chargers exposure, I think we take him.
Yeah.
And I think that if having like if Eckler goes down, Spiller can catch the football. He caught a ton of balls at Texas A&M.
Yep.
So it's like we're leaning in a little bit more into the Chargers, but it's not a bad offense to lean into. And I don't mind Spiller. I think Spiller's kind of like.
Yeah, I just did Spiller on the main.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have a couple of those running backs that win the 9th over Spiller. But again, we're talking about high-end handcuffs, and we're drafting Austin Eckler 6th overall, and Spiller is the clear number 2 back in what should be potentially a top 5 offense. So
yeah,
I don't hate it. I do think that the bearish argument would be that there's a couple of running backs kind of like Spiller that might have been there for us in the 11th. but it's more of a structure thing. And, again, he's our RB3. And yeah, like the Komet, I think Komet's going to go before we pick. I've drafted Komet a lot. I just think at the end of the day, it's like having two Bears pass catchers in this offense, I think could be very frustrating, especially if there is run heavy and the pace of play is where it's at. And I think that the offensive line has a lot of issues too. So, like, if the Bears offense is just putrid, which I'm not betting on, like I think they'll be okay, but I think there's a chance that the wheels could fall off. Having a Mooney Komet every single week might not be something you want to do. And it doesn't matter because Team 2 takes Komet as their tight end. So.
Firemuth, Alberto, Komet. I'm not broken up about it.
No. And
I just I'm now Theo, I'm going to argue that I'm not taking tight end until around like 13, 14.
Well, I don't know if we wait that long. But yeah,
I think we're going to want a running back wide receiver combo in this next go.
Yeah, I'm not like pressed. The problem is it's the time between picks where if we don't take one now, it's sort of like waiting. Jaceki goes. It would have been a little interesting to have an Edmonds Jaceki combo, which I know you wouldn't have been, super thrilled about, but they're the clear, to me, the 3 and 4 guys in an offense that maybe takes a big step forward this year.
I'm pulling the fire alarm in the La Quinta if we have an Edmonds Jaceki team.
I know.
and I'm gonna tell the draft room that happened too. See if I can get it paused or just like the whole thing annulled.
I mean, I can tell from the art behind you that it's clearly the JW Marriott. Yeah. You're not in a La Quinta.
It's the La Quinta Reserve.
I'm going to get to some of the comments after we make these.
It's their upscore. Yeah, we're doing really bad. The chat's on fire tonight. Really thankful for the chat. Famous J, Alex P. Keaton, Josh Durham.
Shout out to everybody. I'm trying to navigate what JD usually does, where I'm setting up the pod and all that sort of stuff. So if we haven't gotten to the comments yet, we will.
The tight end, Theo, the tight end run was absolutely nuts here.
They're sticking it to us. It would have been nice to get Gerald Everett right there.
You are up now.
Yeah.
That's who I was hoping for. With our Herbert exposure.
Yeah. I added some more players.
Yeah.
I think we got to go running back here. I'm to be honest with you, Theo, if they want to keep sticking it to us on tight end, that's just the way it is.
I'm not
going. I mean, if we're not going to lean into it at the Komet, I'm not going to lean into it now. I mean, it's almost worse to do it now. We let six tight ends go.
Well, the problem with doing that is I think that the Kelsey team might be adding a tight end too. I think that there's a chance the Goddard team might add a tight end too, and I think there's a chance that Team 12 would add a tight end too, and then we're really messed up.
Good, let them.
So I'm just going to throw out to you. I don't mind taking Evan Engram here. I think Engram is enticing to me. I've taken him a few times in these football guys, and I think that he's got kind of
I like him too. I checked his min on Fantasy Mojo. We'd be taking him at his current min, so at least we're not setting new record lows here on him. I just so annoyed, not at you, the fucking room for pushing the tight ends all the way up.
Okay, so
no, do it. I think you're right. I think read the room.
I think if we take Engram, I think somebody else is going to take their tight end too.
Yeah, we got to bite the bullet.
Okay, so let's take him.
Yeah.
I don't love it either. I don't love it either. But at the end of the day, it's like
hate giving the room the satisfaction.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm just going to throw it.
Hey, satisfaction earned room. Gross.
There you go. You guys enjoy the tight ends. At the end of the day, we sacrificed a lot to build our wide receiver depth, and that's fine. These teams have small margins anyway, and at the end of the day, if our wide receivers smash, I like our chances. So we're fine. I think we can make up for it at tight end, and Evan Engram, I like. I think that he's very much in that mix with a couple of the tight ends who went right before him. They brought him over That was the tight end they targeted in free agency. They gave him a ton of money. So I'm kind of into Evan Ingram. Doug Peterson tight ends have had tons of success over the years.
Yeah. Hey, post 1912, they listen to you guys talking out. Good. I want them to listen. Let the haters listen.
Yeah, let them listen. It's fine.
Let them listen. Let them get the satisfaction. I'd want the satisfaction too if I did this to me.
Andrew and I did about like 6 or 7 of these last summer, and people listen in and people join it. It's awesome. It's one of the things.
You gotta do more. I took June off. Goddamn Cameron Brate, 11th round.
Yeah, Cameron Brake. I mean, give me a break.
So took Evan Ingram.
Exactly. So I think it was the correct call.
It was. It hurt my feelings, hurt my sensibilities.
You'll like who we pick next. A little more than that. Cameron Brate, though. I mean, I get it. The offense is the offense, but come on.
Yeah.
Can you scroll down?
Oh gosh. Yeah, here we go. Good here?
Yeah. Okay, so there goes Rondell Moore. Okay, we're good.
All right. Andrew, stop messing with it. Give everyone seizures.
You're gonna have the little warning label before go to yes. Like it's Disney Plus or something.
Yeah. For those who are sensitive to flashing lights, don't watch Andrew doom scroll.
Okay. Okay, Jahan Dotson's starting to move up a little bit.
Yeah, he is.
Interesting. Especially with Thomas set to miss, training camp in the beginning of the season. They don't have a clear, tight end who can sap up targets. So it's like McKissick or Dotson, Gibson, they're all going to see a little extra targets, in my opinion, with McLaurin getting a huge target share.
Yeah, agreed. I like Theo. I like 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you talk me into 1, 6, or 7 right now, I don't know where I'd be at mentally. I won't let you talk me into them.
Yeah, I think that I think 2 is the one I want.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he fits what we've done here and gives us kind of I mean, all 3 of the guys you have queued up, and we can kind of discuss.
Yeah, I like 2, 3, 4, and 5. I will tell you, I don't think that we get 5 if we pass on them here. Actually, I don't think we get any of those guys if we pass on here. So
I think the whole queue is going to be gone.
Gone. Yeah, I think it's called the Evan Ingram corollary because we took Evan Ingram, we're going to miss it. We're only going to be able to get one of these players here.
Okay, so there goes TDP. We had him queued up as one of the possibilities.
Yeah, I like the one you suggested. He's kind of top of the running back queue. So
we can talk it out here. The 2 running backs in our queue: Kenneth Gainwell and Khalil Herbert. Again, I like the Philadelphia offense more.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia offensive line is twice as good, and you can make an argument. You can make an argument. David Montgomery over Miles Sanders. I think that's probably where I'm at. I'm at right now as well. So I think we go Gainwell. I think it's pretty clear. Do you have anybody else you want to take?
No. That's the move. I think that's the right structural pick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, we've liked Gainwell since the draft last year, and we like that offense a lot in Philly. So I'm fine getting Gainwell. It'll be interesting to see, what this board does with tight end.
I hope they take more of them. Take more tight ends.
I don't want them to take all of them.
No, I hope they do.
Okay, Tyler Algier goes. He adds a QB2. So we see our first team out of QB2.
Second, team 10 went Brady in the 10th.
Okay.
But
yeah, have you been drafting a QB2 in most of your drafts?
You know this. I was actually going to bring it up. I'm out. We can't be doing QB2s. I'd rather have the lotto tickets all day long.
Yeah, I think that it's also, you have to remember that in this football guys or main events, and and it also goes for the other high stakes leagues, is a lot of people will draft 2 QBs but you often find a QB on the waiver wire that you dislike. I think the main event champion last year picked up Joe Burrow off of the waiver wire.
Yeah.
So it's
and honestly, when we're debating with Theo, when we get to September 10th, September 7th, whatever that is, whatever that first Wednesday is before the Thursday night games, like what we're going to do is like if we take a second quarterback, they're going to be my suggestion to drop. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Hey, who are we going to drop to pick up the running back who comes on the board here in the next couple of months? Is, I'm going to say, hey, Theo, let's drop our quarterback. I'd rather have that lotto ticket on board now because maybe we already had him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's also for me, it's the draft capital spent. So like we take Herbert in the 6th round. If we would have started out the draft with like Russell Wilson in the 9th or Dak, Trey Lance, then I would have maybe liked to have a Carr or Stafford. But with Herbert, I mean, if Herbert goes down, this team is
dead anyways.
Anyway, so adding those lottery tickets, especially with the early waiver wire run, is nice. I mean, we all remember what happened with Cam Akers last year, with J.K. Dobbins last year, where you have some of these RB2 types, and they end up really paying off, especially if you're drafting early.
Yep.
Jamison Williams goes to Team 2.
I know. I love what Team 2. Team 2 is taking so many Schellenberg players. Love it.
Yeah, Team 2 did a very nice job tonight.
Team 4 doing me a real mitzvah by taking Hunter Henry. Good on them.
I know, Andrew. I took Hunter Henry one time in a startup. We were going as my tight end 2 in a dynasty startup this offseason, a RotoViz Triflex league. And Andrew shot me like a nasty text message about my thought process. And I'm like, it's like the 16th round, and I'm adding Hunter Henry as my tight end 2.
I know. I'm just so irrational about it. Good. More tight ends going. Good. Take them all. I don't care.
We're just trying to
I added an interesting wide receiver among one of the few that I'd really stumped for. And then a couple running backs to the queue.
Well, there's one player that I really hope we get right here.
Oh boy.
It's number 2 in our queue.
Really?
So I'm into it. Did he pick yet? It's okay.
Yeah, we're up. We're up.
I like that value on Myers. We didn't have him on the queue, but okay. So
yeah.
I'm into it because it's at this point in the draft in the 13th round, he's got a clear role. We have question marks about the offense, but we've seen the player finish as a tight end 1 like twice in his career. He's young, and we're talking Noah Fant here.
Yeah, and also never post Josh Durham chats into the thing. I know you haven't done one yet, but just definitely don't do his.
I'm not going to put any.
Fucking telegraphing all our picks. I don't like it.
Okay, so
am I accidentally sharing my queue? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm going
to take Fant unless you have a real problem with it.
No, I'm going to hate it. You're definitely going to get nasty grams from me a year later.
Okay,
but yeah.
Send me a nasty text. I think that I think that's too low for Noah Fant. I think I know we have question marks.
Low. It's like tight end 37 at this point.
It's
22.
Low. I mean,
no, Josh, you're all good. No, that was the right move. You should keep doing
that. And we've seen Noah Fant produce with some very poor quarterback play. So,
and of course, David Njoku goes right after too. Yeah. So it's like the tight end beating will continue until morale improves.
Yeah, I mean, like taking Njoku, who hasn't had a productive year in
ever.
No, he had 1 year where he was a like top 8 at the position, and then literally nothing else. Where Fant has had productive years with bad QB play, and now people are completely writing him off. I'm fine getting him there. I think that's pretty good value for our tight end too, and he's a hell of an athlete. He's got great draft capital, and he's like the name who came over in the trade. If he has a good season, then Seattle looks at least. I mean, they're not going to look smart, but having Noah Fant produce this year would not hurt them.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I'd probably talk you out of them or see if I could. I don't have any interest in any remaining tight ends. Maybe one left.
There's a couple that are interesting. There's a couple I've been taking in like the 19th and 20th round, but I agreed it's not great.
Auto pick. Yeah, that was another auto pick. I don't know if that's going to stand, but nevertheless.
We'll see. I added another name to our queue. I'm going to take out this one name from our queue because we don't really need him. Well, okay, there we go. So we have a 3-man queue right now.
Team 11 just went double auto pick.
You are up next.
Was that Spearmint Rhino?
Yeah.
I mean, he's already won the million. He doesn't need to draft anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Nico Collins goes. I like that pick right there. Nico's starting to rise a little bit. Okay, so for us here, it's Zamir White. It's Mark Ingram, in my opinion, with Deonta Foreman. I will just throw out the fact that we don't know Alvin Kamara's suspension time. If he does get a 6-gamer, Ingram had two top 18 weeks last year in games that Kamara missed. He's not exciting. If you want to go with a more exciting approach, it's Zamir White for upside.
Yeah, I'm Tolbert or Zamir White. I can't get on board with the Mark Ingram.
Okay, I think we take. Then I'd like to take Zamir White or number 4 in our queue. But number 4 in our queue might make it back to us. Maybe.
Yeah, Zamir White then.
Okay, so let's take Zamir White.
Yeah, I'm not. There's like that was like one of those where like there's like a 0% chance I'm taking.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram.
So we've taken our RB 5 now. I would say like Zamir White, Gainwell, and Spiller all offer some upside. And like we talked about with Edmonds is kind of a bridge to potentially one of those guys seeing starts. That's the bearish argument. And the bullish argument is, like, I like Chase Edmonds. I think if you tell me at the end of the year, Chase Edmonds is RB 21, something like that, I think that's completely in the realm of possibilities. He's not necessarily winning you a massive Evan McPherson goes in the 14th round.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting choice.
If 1912, I don't care about the buys. If I've boned up the buys, let me know now, and I'll try to course correct here.
I'm going to throw some comments on the board here.
I think I'm good. Yeah, my dude, do you care about the buys? I don't care about them. No.
Let's put his. No, we don't care about the buys. You can figure it out later. I don't want.
By the way, I agree, Josh. I wish that was I don't think hearing that was me reading the room and knowing Theo. When I hear Theo lay out the opening argument that he's in on Mark Ingram or Zamir White, I just know that I'm not going to be able to talk him out of running back. So at that point, my only play was to make sure that we didn't get Mark Ingram.
Well, I don't think like I like Tolbert, but I think for our structure, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we need more wide receivers at this point. Like the Devonta Smith and Ayuk, picks where we took them where they are. We've already used a ton of draft capital on wide receiver. There's a couple of late wide receivers I'm into, but I think getting the running backs here was structurally what we needed, and I think Noah Fant is kind of what we needed. Some great comments tonight. Let's pull up a couple more. Sorry, I'm just trying to navigate this. I don't usually have to do this. Let's see.
You're doing a great job, Theo. Killing it.
There's 19. Shout out to 1912. Better hope they don't get Gainwell. There you go.
And by the way, he sent that 2 picks before you. We got on the clock there.
Shout out to Josh Durham. Shout out to Famous J. Shout out to Alex P. Keaton. The chat is live tonight.
Yeah. Literally live.
Okay, so we see Will Fuller go. Any idea where he's going to?
No idea.
Josh Durham. The Saints will probably trade for someone if Kamara has a lengthy suspension, maybe. Or maybe it's just a 6-gamer and they think they can get by with what they have on the roster. Durham also says Tolbert would have been my choice. Yeah, I mean Tolbert's gonna move up a little bit. There's reports saying what everybody already knew, that he's going to start the year. He could be a kind of guy that, like, in home leagues, is a massive waiver wire run guy.
Yeah.
PC is going to draft in every league, but some of these like Yahoo type leagues, because their first 2 games are both very high total games. I think it's Tampa Bay and Cincinnati. Alex P. Keaton. Kamara will not be suspended by the dip. Yeah, I mean, definitely could avoid suspension as well. I know some people that are auto drafting Kamara now because of the dip for some high volume type guys. George Pickens goes. He's getting some bad reports out of camp. I know we both like Pickens though.
Yeah, definitely long term. And good schedule memorization, Theo. They go Cowboys go Bucks and Bengals to start the year.
Yeah, they're both going to be high total games. It's going to be the kind of guy where, like, Tolbert catches a touchdown pass the first game, and he's waiver wire priority 1 for somebody in a home league.
Absolutely. A lot of alliteration there too. Boys, Bucks, Bengals. The people love alliteration.
Let's see where we're at in our draft room, our queue.
Yeah, I've been making a mess of it, Theo.
Yeah.
You are up next.
Let's see.
I don't think it's your move, but I don't mind 5.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out 2 or 4 here. I think there's a chance we get both of them.
Yeah.
And I'll throw Ingram out there again if he's there.
On the clock.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah, so I'd like to take Ingram here.
Oh no, Theo. No. Well, I gave up Tolbert not to get Ingram back on this.
Okay,
draft.
fine. So let's go with the more exciting. Okay, so I think that we're already talking about. So are you on 2 or 4? And then we'll talk about them.
Both.
Okay, so
Rather 2. Theo, if you want do Mark Ingram. I think it'll make you happier leaving this.
No. I don't want to force you to take them.
No, we'll do Mark Ingram. We'll do Mark Ingram.
No. Let's do this one. Let's take, because I've also been taking this player.
I think we get him. I think we get him on the wrap. Okay,
so take Ingram, and then we get it on the wrap round.
It'll make you happier, and that way, cool. I have one veto in the bag for the next time we do one.
So let's go dusty old Mark Ingram, and let's see what the chat has to say. No hate.
I think you're gonna be happier this way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Kamara gets suspended, great. If not, Ingram, we can cut him in a couple weeks.
I will cut his ass with joy on September, whatever the hell it is.
It's why you do these early drafts.
Right.
I like a couple more of these guys in the queue, though.
Yeah, I like the number 1 now.
I'm going to queue one more guy that I like. I'm surprised you're not trying to push him.
Uh-oh.
Number 5 in our queue.
No, I'm in on waiting.
Okay, cool. So right now in our queue, I'd say number 1.
Yeah, especially because
he's there. Because there
gotta scroll. Gotta scroll. See, hey, hold on. Everyone, avert your eyes. All right, good.
So Eno Benjamin was who we had in the queue. We considered him where we took the Ingram pick. He's had awesome reports from OTAs. Kingsbury's singing his praises. And I think that like him versus Darrell Williams, they're both getting drafted in every single league. And whoever gets that potential handcuff job is very appealing. Justin Tucker goes.
You are up next.
Kenyon Drake goes. Okay, so we're hopefully going to get who we want here.
Yeah, and I'll just say, if I'm doing this alone, I'm probably taking Tucker there with the Ingram pick.
Yeah,
I don't mind. I think you shot him down right away. I don't mind going after a kicker, especially a round and a half after Evan McPherson. I think it makes a lot of sense, and a lot of these guys here, especially round 11 on, maybe even round 9 or 10 on, are all potential waiver wire fodder, right? The guys that are going to stick on these teams, versus like a Tucker who I know is going to score a lot. So that's probably what I'm doing. But again, I'm not going to fight over a kicker here in round
Okay, so we're OTC here.
And I think we take the other guy.
Yeah, I think we take Tyler Beatty.
Yeah.
You know, there's a chance that he could see some work early in the season. Dobbins coming back, and he's not going to be ready for camp. We'll see how Gus Edwards is looking. I like Beatty. I think he's a good bet at this range in the draft.
Yep, totally agree.
Okay, that's an easy one. So after not going RB, we had two RBs in the first 9 rounds. We followed up with Isaiah Spiller, Kenneth Gainwell, Zamir White, Mark Ingram, and Tyler Beatty. So I think we've added some potentially high upside guys off this build. Divino Zigbo is the backup for Kamara. Ingram is dust. We'll see. Alex P. Keaton. We'll see.
No, we're riding Mark Ingram to the half milli.
Absolutely.
I know it.
Mark Ingram, week 17.
I see it in our future. The ride's gonna be bumpy, Theo, but we're gonna get there with him.
Let's see. All right, we see KJ Osborne go. He's starting to get a little love. I think people are excited about the passing game in Minnesota.
Yeah. I think total jag though. Just a guy. I mean, I think that you're going to find a million of KJ Osborne's on the waiver wire.
Yeah, I mean, I think that again, if Thielen misses time, Osborne would move way up, especially if the passing volume has increased. So, I mean, he's the clear number 3 wide out there for me. I know, there's some people into Smith Marset, but I liked Osborne last year at times. So, I can see some appeal to having him. Van Jefferson goes, same sort of argument, a number 3 wide receiver in an offense that we like. All right, so I have one guy in our queue who I'm hoping is there for us.
Yeah. Is that the second guy, the guy you just added recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that one. Good upside play.
Yeah, and there goes Butker. You're going to start seeing some kickers go. The person at the top of our queue, I really don't think we need at this point.
Out.
Yeah.
Deleted.
I think it's all or nothing here.
I'm looking forward to us scrambling when he gets sniped.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing better when we do these than you and I scrambling in rounds 17 through 20.
There goes Dulcich.
Got a single name on the board.
I've taken Dulcich a couple times very late, not this early, but he's there in the 19th a lot.
That's his second tight end.
Okay, we see Odell Beckham go.
Yeah, and we're next.
All right. Come on.
This is it. This truly is an all or nothing.
We have one person in our queue
anticipating
that they'll be there. It's going to be an ugly scene if he's taken.
Yeah. I like that we're going to have to add more to the queue right after this pick too.
On the clock.
Okay, so we survive. We're going to take Wan'Dale Robinson right here.
Yep.
I like Wan'Dale. It'll be interesting to see what his role is. But I mean, they used the early second round draft pick on him, and I think they like him a lot. And that's a team where we're anticipating that the game flows in their favor in terms of what the offense needs to do, and it gets us a little bit of correlation with Saquon. So if Wan'Dale does have an outsized role, you'd have two pieces of that offense.
Wan'Dale.
I have 40% exposure. That's a great thing. I think I have about as much as you do in Dynasty.
Yeah.
In Dynasty, I think I have him everywhere. he was just so cheap. You never had to reach for him, and he kept falling in these FFPC drafts.
All right, I added a few more to the queue. It's all over the place. I absolutely hate number 4. I don't think I'll let us take him.
Okay, yeah, let's take him out. I don't even want to consider him.
Actually, I put 5 in, but I don't even like 5.
I don't want 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw 2 late ones for you.
Well, we got 3 picks left. One of them kicker, one of them defense. Do you want to do kicker defense now, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, because I think some of these guys in our queue are going to last until the 19th round, so we might as well take a defense here. I like the defenses you have queued up. I like number 2 the most.
Yeah, I know you do.
I've been drafting them, pretty regularly, so I wouldn't mind another share. And they also have a nice opening game. So you see Kate Otten go.
Just a lot of tight ends. Oh, I just removed the other wide receiver. I was referring to the running back. I like the running back that was in there. I didn't want the wide receiver, Kendrick Bourne. Unless you're right on him.
Little Paris Campbell love from Famous J. Hey, I'd like to have Paris Campbell, have a comeback season as well. But Robinson's interesting to me. I think like if he was 1 inch taller, as crazy as that is, I think if he was 1 inch taller, I think he'd be going like 4 rounds earlier. Okay, so we see Matt Gay go. Logan Thomas is dusty right now.
Yeah. Theo, how's your kicker knowledge here?
My kicker knowledge is fine. I feel like I'd rather have the defense. I think we have a little more.
No, agreed. I think we go Denver and I think we move on, yeah.
Yeah, we like the Denver defense and they open up with Seattle, so let's take Denver.
Yeah.
Okay, good one.
All right. So we got 1 kicker and 1 flyer left.
Yeah, I think that we could go a number of directions with this flyer. I don't know why you're pushing number 4.
No, I'll delete him. Delete him again.
Yeah, I don't know. He's so many things have to go right for him. I think that there's a clear player for us if he's there. I just added him to the queue. He makes a ton of sense for this team.
Oh no. No.
It's okay. Well, we can talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody just takes him. So
I'm just going to say I think I'm going to get to this 18-19 turn. I think I'm just going to say the name and hope for the best.
Don't do it. Someone's just going to take him. Infinity War or Title Town or one of these teams just going to take him.
God, I hope so.
All right, let's see. Okay, so I mean, Shelly, we might be talking about it.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I'll make an argument to it. Come on, I mean, at this point,
no, don't say it because you're gonna be upset with yourself.
I'm not going to say it. Let's start lining up some kickers, though. I don't mind having a double tap here at this position for this team.
Theo, is this how many of these football guys, or maybe the chat, is 30 a ton of tight ends to be gone through round 18?
Yes. I mean, like
I gotta check my other ones. I'm also not taking these tight ends, so I don't think I'm really paying attention to the board. It just feels like a ton.
This room is very, very, very tight end thirsty.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess that's not crazy. My first one had 29.
Yeah, but I feel like we're like Dulcich in like the 17th. He usually goes a little later. Kate Otten usually goes like if he's going to get drafted at all would be later. And like Mo Alley Cox and Brevin Jordan are oftentimes you see them in like not Brevin Jordan necessarily, but Mo Alley Cox. Sometimes you'll see him in like the 19th, 20th. It was a very, very thirsty tight end room for sure.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's a good point by Frank. I just double checked, and I'm averaging around 29, 30 tight ends per draft. So we're at 30 through round 18. If that's sort of where it lands, it's just a matter of same tight ends just earlier. So
shout out to Josh Durham. I also think that it's worth taking a couple shots on Big Mo.
agreed.
I think that there's, like you said, Matt Ryan's had a good history with the position, and the offense could take a big step forward.
And we had him queued. It just dawned on me. I wish we had talked about this earlier. Team 2 waited 18-19 to take quarterbacks to Deshaun and Daniel Jones.
Team 2 did some interesting things, and I think that they had an interesting build. I mean, if Deshaun gets the 4 to 6 games and you have to get 4 to 6 games out of Daniel Jones, I don't hate that at all. And they use no draft capital at all on quarterback. Shout out to Billy Muzio. He's gone super late at quarterback a few times. It opens you up to some interesting builds for sure. Okay, so we see Keontae Ingram go. So you're seeing 4 Arizona running backs get drafted in the same draft.
Next.
Okay, let me I'll throw a name in here that you'll want to draft just so this is even more fun.
Oh, good. Yeah, and behind us, you can take your flyer an hour later. Only team 12 needs the kicker.
So let's see, Titletown. Can you pick?
Now you are on the clock.
Okay, so I'll make the argument for Matt Breida. It's not necessarily like if Saquon goes down, this team is dust. I agree with that. But what if Saquon goes down for 2 weeks? He's the clear RB2 there. I think that having him as a cuff for this team is not the worst thing I've ever seen. If you want to be more bullish on a guy, like a guy that you can get more excited about, then I think Pierre Strong is an interesting play. I think there's a chance Pierre Strong carves out a role just based on, I think he's very talented. And I think that, with training camp coming along, there's a chance he might, either way, this might be a cut. I think I would like to have the handcuff more than Pierre Strong.
But can we go kicker here?
Let's take my guy.
All right, take your guy. For the record, I'm putting this out there. Do not love the. I wish I hadn't said yes to Mark Ingram. Don't love Mark Ingram or Breida. I think that they're like first cuts for sure.
Agreed, and it's probably Ingram is the person we're cutting. But if he gets the starting running back role in New Orleans and Kamara gets a 6-game suspension, then he's a guy you're really happy you took. And this, like in the main events that we've been doing, Ingram's going a lot higher than this for that very reason. So,
yeah, and I think the argument would be fast start, right? But again, I just don't think that those two are the right kind of lotto tickets to hold over the summer. I think that a lot of things could happen where like those guys are just not even the right guys to have. But by the time week 1 rolls around,
yeah, this is Famous J wants to boo Team 9. Okay.
What's the boo? What's the problem with that?
I think he doesn't like the Matt Breida selection. If you could clarify, Famous J, do you hate the team or the Matt Breida selection?
Well, we're Team 8 anyways.
Oh, I thought he was talking about sorry, Famous J. I'm looking at the bottom of the board here.
Yeah.
But look at Team 9, the team he doesn't like. Can you scroll up?
I think it's because Famous J wanted us to take
McManus.
So yeah, somebody wanted us to take.
Good call. And we actually talked about this. I've done the McManus Denver combo.
Oh, and by the way, all of our kickers got taken, so I'm gonna take another kicker.
Okay, so let's go to it.
Now you are on the clock.
Okay, so kicker wise, I hate that we have to decide on a kicker here, OTC. good drafting by people to clear our queue.
If only we had taken the kicker first instead of fucking Matt Breida.
So I wish we could just take Nick Folk for nostalgia because we had him on our very successful teams last year. But I think that I have question marks about the offense. I kind of don't mind Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yeah, he's who I would think.
I like that Indianapolis, offense. I think it's going to take a step forward. But if you have a strong feeling about another kicker, then by all means. Okay. So we'll take Blankenship.
All right, we're done here.
All right. So why don't we scroll up to the top of the board and talk about any teams that we really don't like or like, and maybe anything that we wish we would have changed with our own team?
Except for the quarterback. I just don't think that either of those quarterbacks is going to be on the winning roster if I'm thinking about it. As a draft in total, I hated how quickly the tight ends went and us being forced almost to take that Evan Ingram pick. I don't think it changed a ton about our draft, but certainly I felt the effects. I don't know if you did of this like 6 tight end run here at 10-11.
Yeah, I mean, and also we talked about going Kyle Pitts, over Saquon there. I mean, how different would our draft have been if we would have just done that? So at the end of the day, like, I don't hate Evan Ingram, and I think where we got Noah Fant was kind of intriguing to me.
Yeah,
we're very thin at tight end because we might not have a top 15 play at tight end. But again, you can't plan those things out. I think that the strength of our team is our wide receiver core, the correlation we built with Herbert and Williams. I like the fact that we have Spiller in that mix. Eckler's one of my guys. I love him. But if he were to go down, our team would be, very dangerous. And I like the Gainwell pick. So again,
the one I'm changing, Theo, if I can go back in time and fight you on it harder, I think I would change the Chase Edmonds to James Cook, especially with having Mark Ingram on board. And if the Kamara thing and if Mark Ingram holds out, I think he's the RB2 week 1, right? And I don't think that we're as worried with having Chase Edmonds on board. And so I think I'd rather have the potential league winning upside potential of James Cook, at least from like the sex appeal, than the Chase Edmonds. I think that's the one thing I change.
So
how to draft one.
We've had this conversation a couple times over the summer. Like, I like James Cook a lot. I like James Cook as an RB3 or RB4 a lot more than I do as an RB2. I'm bullish on him, but again, like, I know that if Edmonds is healthy, even if Mostert
10 points
has a role, I think Edmonds like week 1 is safe. It's just a bridge for us. Again, It's a shorter contest where like you might not get excited taking the Edmonds or the Pennies, those type of guys, but those type of guys are going to help you out, especially with this kind of build where a lot of people are doing like this hero RB type build. I think you really need one of those kind of guys to help you, survive. Devin Singletary had been that guy for a number of people for weeks, but Singletary's going in the 7th round here. I've seen him go in the 6th round twice in football guys that I've been in. So like he's been kind of like that bet. I think Edmonds and Penny are kind of there for me. You can make the argument for Harris, but again, I think he's very touchdown dependent. I'm not really a guy I've been on at all. I actually like Ramondre Stevenson. So I like the Edmonds pick more than you do. And I think that I like what we did at wide receiver. I like what we did with getting Devonta Smith and Ayuk for our depth. I think if one of those guys hits big, then I think our team becomes interesting. This is not my favorite team that I've drafted this summer to football guys, but I think there's some things I like about it.
Agreed.
Any comments about any of these other teams?
Don't like what 12 did, if I can be mean for a second.
Sure.
I like some of the picks that they did. Actually, I like their bets in 10 through 20 and rounds 10 through 20, and maybe that was their whole premise here. But I just don't like what they did off the bat. 1 through 5 is just not the players. Neither the structure nor the players. I'm a fan of that one. 11, same thing. I like some of like the players, but I don't like the structure at all. again, they're probably going to wipe the floor with us. I like what 3 did, by the way. I think that with getting 4 wide receivers on the board, I think maybe somewhere I would switch out either David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, or CEH for a yellow sticker, at least one of those. But otherwise, I really like what they did there, especially with the interesting. I think you've got some good upside with Dameon Pierce. So I definitely would have swapped out one of these 3 stickers for a yellow one.
And I'll say team 4 for me. I like the Justin Jefferson, Javonte Williams start, and then how he followed up with AJ Brown, McLaurin, and then took the falling Metcalf. Getting Metcalf in the 5th round. I mean,
it's great.
I also kind of like his Elijah Mitchell pick where he got him. I like him a little more than you do. Michael Thomas, I'm not betting on, but if Michael Thomas does play and return strong, then team 4 is dangerous. And I absolutely love where he got Kyler Murray.
Can I do like the 2v2 thing for team 4? Swap out Elijah's, do Elijah Moore instead of Elijah Mitchell, and then do Tony Pollard instead of Michael Thomas, which they could have had the opportunity to do both of those. And I absolutely love team 4. So they're going DK Elijah Moore and then Tony Pollard. I mean, dude, I think that's like to me, that's what I would have loved for them to have done.
Or if he wasn't a Pollard guy, Devin Singletary there.
Yeah,
that same swap would have been dangerous. But yeah, it's difficult to kind of anticipate that. When he's OTC, and I could see the like if Mitchell gets 12 starts in that offense where he got Mitchell, I think it's gonna work out well for him. Again, we talked about our own build. This is a very, very interesting board. It was an interesting draft. I'd be 100% down to do another one.
Yeah, we got to do them again, Theo. Yeah. We did great last summer.
Yeah, let's schedule another one. Shout out to all the great people in the chat. We're gonna come back tomorrow night with Ben Gretsch. You all know Ben Gretsch. He's been on the pod before. One of the brighter minds in the fantasy industry. You hear him on the Stealing Bananas pod. You hear him on Ship Chasing. It's going to be a lot of fun talking with Ben tomorrow night. And Andrew, this was a lot of fun tonight.
I love it, Theo. Glad to be back.
Shout out to the FFPC. If anybody wants to get in one of these drafts, hit Andrew or I up on Twitter in the DMs. We can get you a bonus for signing up. These football guys drafts are a ton of fun. And this was great. Everybody have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Love it, Theo. Thanks, sir.